You're welcome back to the pause here on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Now, this is not a science class or an experiment we're about to do. It's about the things that you're consuming on a regular, which are on the market today. In fact, market women are finding very innovative ways of not giving us the right product, mixing all manner of things for us to consume in the name of pepper or tomato powder. Well, joining us in the studio today to tell us what they found on the market and the kind of things we are consuming, which could be detrimental to our health, is Maria Abalavlis Johnson, the head of Food Safety Management Department at the Food and Drugs Authority. Thank you, madam, for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, when I saw this initially, I asked myself, what is this? So tell everyone, what is this?
Well, this is tomato powder. That's what is sold in the market as tomato powder. So we say so-called tomato powder. And this is ground pepper, supposedly ground pepper.
Okay. But again, if I look at it this way, it looks pretty much like ground pepper.
Yeah, it is. That is what you know as ground pepper, and that's what is all over.
Okay.
Until now that we are trying to get them off the market.
Why are you getting it off the market?
Well, should we start with the tomato powder or with the ground pepper?
Let's start with the tomato. I guess that's the scariest one for me.
Okay. The tomato powder, about 3 months ago, the FDA realized as part of our normal or routine surveillance that there is something on the market called tomato powder. We were like, how do you get tomato powder? When is tomato going to be dehydrated, dried, and then milled, and you get powder out of it? So we bought samples from the various markets, took them to our laboratories, did tests on them, and realized there was no tomato in it at all. No tomato,
nothing like that.
Nothing like tomato in it. However, we saw that they had kokonte. It was all carbohydrates. Kokonte, then maize grits, and then Tom Brown in the product.
That makes up this product.
This product.
But it's looking pretty red.
Very, and that is how it is sold. That's how it is sold. Very red. So we were like, how? And
is there an addition of color?
Yes, this is Bixa seeds. These seeds are known very well. They are just the seeds from some tree. They add these seeds. They put these seeds in water, and then it gets red. And they add the Tom Brown and kokonte from the corn mills. They go to the millers, and then they ask for, normally there are residues. People leave the residues there. The millers, most of the time, sell those things to poultry farmers so that they just feed the poultry with that kind of thing. So they go and buy the residues, and then they even mill the residue further. They collect them from the floor, mill it further, get it powdery, very powdery, and add chaff. Some of the foods are prepared without the chaff from the maize.
Yes.
Yes. So the chaff that is unwanted, or the husk that's unwanted, they take that one too and mill it into a very powdery form, add it to the residues, and then add this Bixa seeds to it. And they get it very red, and even go ahead to add color.
They add color?
Yes.
And this is what it looks like when you pour it in water. It looks pretty much like any regular squash drink you would see on the market. But tell you what, this is not tomato powder. This is actually a mixture of so many things, including color, and as you mentioned, kokonte and maize as well.
Tom Brown,
being
maize.
sold on the open market today for you to consume. This is tomato powder.
And as you can see, it's settling down. It was very uniform. You just stir it and you get it very uniform. After a while, it settles down and then it separates. So this is the Tom Brown separating, coming down, then the color parts coming up.
I guess for anyone who's watching now, the next question they will ask is this harmful to my health if I eat it?
Yes, it is, because there are residues collected from the floor of the corn mills.
So hygiene.
That's it's a very unhygienic. So we have hygiene issues here. When we took them to the laboratory, we found out that we had high microbial loads, telling you that there are lots of microorganisms, or let's say germs, in the product.
Okay.
So you finish eating, the next thing you see or you feel is nausea, headache, tummy aches, diarrhea, vomiting, and then you don't know where it's coming from. This is used in preparing light soup all over the place.
For restaurants, chop bars.
Everywhere.
That's
and
what they use it for.
Parties are even scarier, because people give their catering, whatever to the contract caterers. So they do the foods for them. And the thing is that because it is full of carbohydrates, we have the Tom Brown, the maize grits and all that. When you put a lot of in your stew base or your soup, let's say stew base, you finish with your oil and onions, you add that with your pepper. Then, because it's carbohydrates, it thickens. So as it thickens, what do you have to do? You add more water. So it gives you more volume. So it acts as a bulking agent and then adds color to it. So your stew looks so bright, red, very appealing, and attracts people to eat. And also you maximize profits because you get more. It's a bulking agent as well.
Okay, and for this product, you know exactly where it's produced? Is it here in Accra?
Here in Accra.
Which part of Accra?
We got one woman at the Nima market. And there are other places that were, 3 months ago, when we realized that it was being sold all over Accra, we started sending warnings to them, telling them, if you do not heed to our warning, at the end of this period, at the end of 3 months, we are going to arrest people who are still doing that. After 3 months of intensive public education, a lot of them stopped. However, there was this recalcitrant person who was still doing it. She does it at the Nima market, and she, according to her, she even exports to Niger. People come for it from her. So she had big sacks of them, and that's what she does. She just takes a lot of maize, does the separation with the chaff and all that. For it. Exactly.
Okay, so now 3 months are up. You threatened you will arrest those who still do it. You found one.
Yes.
But are there more? Are you going ahead to arrest them?
We are going ahead to arrest them. Because apart from the fact that it's even unhygienic, it is deceptive. And our Public Health Act 851, Section 103 of the Part 7, states categorically that a person who manufactures, packages, sells, or advertises food, that is false, misleading, deceptive, or misbranded as regards its character, nature, value additives, substance, quality, quantity, composition, merit, or safety, commits an offense. So you tell people you are selling tomato powder. People think there is tomato in this. So all the nutrients the person is going to get from tomatoes, the person thinks I'll get from this. Meanwhile,
so
no
this is sold raw in a pan in an open market.
Oh yes, like
or
the
it's
way
packaged
in a pan, like the way they sell the gari and what do you call it, sugar and all that. I have a picture of that because we took pictures. It's just in there, they have these aluminum pans and then they put this polythene bag there. So it's sold in the polythene bag there. And then when you come, depending on the quantity you want, they will shoot out.
That's for tomato powder. I'm even so shocked, wondering how tomato powder can even be processed and the kind of deception we're seeing in the open market.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about this one. When I smelled it, I thought, yeah, looks pretty much like pepper, but it's not, is it?
That's the pepper, What they do is there is pepper in it. As for this one, there is pepper in it. But then again, they want a bulking agent. So they have pepper in it to a certain quantity, and then they take gari. Of course, gari is something you eat anyway. So they take gari and they mill the gari further. Further processing makes the particles smaller and into a powdery form. So the gari becomes smoother. And once they add the gari to the powdered pepper, the real pepper, it becomes whiter than red. So then they need to reinstate the color. So the restoration of the color has to be done, and then they use the Bixa seeds to do the restoration of the color.
So in terms of composition, you have what, like 10% of pepper in here, the rest are all other agents?
Yes, like about 20% of pepper. They do some pepper because it still needs to have or let's say 30% of pepper and other agents. So hitherto, with a powdered pepper, if you take a little and put it in your stew, then you cannot even stand in the kitchen because it's really peppery and spicy. Now you need to pour. You may even end up pouring the whole bottle in for a small pan of stew.
Okay.
So they just want to bulk it. There's a bulking agent to maximize profit. Business is about maximization of profits.
Okay. So much as you've identified this, however worrisome this may be, have you made any arrests yet on these?
On the pepper, no, because most of them have stopped that because after their public education, and we are still doing further surveillance to see if there are still some recalcitrant ones, or when they see us, is it that when they see us, then they do the right thing, or we just want to, we'll do it at the right time. At least we are still doing, we don't take delight in just arresting them. We want people of Ghana to consume safe food.
Okay, so someone is watching around and asking themselves, so is that to mean if I go on the open market today, I won't find any of these two on the open market today? Will I?
Well, to a large extent, no. But you know there are always some recalcitrant people that you cannot really stick out your neck for. And they are those we are looking for now. As I speak to you, we are still out there looking for them.
This would mean that for anyone who eats at, say, a restaurant or a chop bar, they should be thinking twice now.
Even a party. We all go to parties once in a while, outdoors, weddings. And then there is this buffet there, nice array of food, very colorful jollof. You'll be tempted to taste some. Or some goat meat stew, soup or something. Just you take a little because it looks very appetizing, and all you'll be taking will be residues from the flour of the cornmeal. I mean, under normal.
Is that what is feeding into food poisoning these days?
It could account for it. It could be, or contribute. It could contribute.
So for those of us who maybe buy from the open market or buy foods from these places, what do we do?
There's nothing you can do
to protect ourselves.
There is nothing you can do. The Food and Drugs Authority, as we have always been doing and we continue doing, will ensure that we rid the market of these products.
So if I go to the market to go buy powder, what's the guarantee that I'm buying quality powder? Pepper.
For now, that we are still arresting them, we cannot give you 100% assurance. Let's finish and then we'll give you 100% assurance.
So between now and your next announcement, I shouldn't buy pepper, powdered pepper.
We cannot say that because there are some people who may genuinely be doing the right thing.
How can I tell the difference? That is
the issue. That is the issue. And that is why we are working assiduously to get rid of these things on the market.
How soon are you going to get it off the market?
As soon as practicable. It could have been yesterday. We are doing all we can do. But you know, the problem is that these are done as artisanal levels. They are done as artisanal. It's an artisanal trade thing. It's not like in a manufacturing industry where we could say we are monitoring them and all that. You can just be in your house. Just ask your little sister or someone. Just go out there, get these pepper, get gari, and then we just tie them or we take them to the market. Or you sell it in front of your house. So it becomes very difficult regulating them and saying that for sure you can say for now we've gotten rid of all of them. But we are working assiduously.
So you're saying that already no arrests have been made as regards this for those who caught selling
pepper,
these.
We haven't. The tomato we have made one arrest of the import of the distributor, exporter, wholesaler. She's a big she's a baron in that trade.
And you found at the Nima market?
Yes, please.
Okay. So for the powder, for the pepper powder, we're still not sure how anyone can go to the market and buy and be sure whether he's buying the right thing or not. But for the tomato powder, I guess we should just stop buying it.
In fact, it's not very common on the markets now, as it used to be 3 months ago. It was so, and you know, Ghanaians are so gullible sometimes. Because if people are very discerning, one thing you should be asking yourself is, how can tomato be dehydrated to that level and get powder to this extent?
You mentioned that you arrested one person from the Nima market who was producing this tomato powder. Where is she now?
She's with the Nima police station.
Nima police station. Arrested when?
Last Thursday or so.
Last Thursday?
Yeah.
And you're processing her for court?
Yes.
Charge her with what?
I just read it to you. Deception of consumers is one, and then the one about safety, the fact that she was doing even straight away, the very first one, even deceiving consumers. Why do you have to deceive people? Name it as tomato powder when there is no tomato in it.
Whatever as it may be, I guess we might have to speak to those who are watching now. What do we all do with this? Because it's scary. What do we do?
What do we do? We have to be discerning. That's number one. As I said, tomato powder, straight away, nobody should think of buying tomato powder. That's if you are going to buy and use it for people. Really, it's bad. But for those of us who go to parties and eat, what do we do becomes a question mark. And the point is, FDA is doing all it can in its power to get rid of such bad products from the market.
Beyond arresting the woman in question at Nima for this tomato powder, are you also looking for accomplices, those who are distributing this product across Accra?
Yes, very much so. She's being questioned, and we want to know who are in the business with her, who even taught her that trade, who even gave her the idea, how she came across that and all that. There were some questions that we even asked when we got her to our office, and the police took her over, and the police are doing that to get every little information, and she'll give us leads to other people. So we are really using her to get to the bottom of this.
Okay, that's for the tomato powder. You say you're looking for the accomplices. She was arrested last week, Thursday.
Yes.
I'm only imagining, between then and now, is there any new information you have as regards who her accomplices are?
You know, the police are still, I think sometimes for security reasons, they don't say everything. Well, but they are working on it. The police are working on it. Our bit is to educate the public and assure the public that our mandate is to protect public health and safety, and we are working very much on it.
Okay, if she was arrested on Thursday, I'm sure the 48-hour detention or arrest time will be elapsing. Has she been charged yet?
I guess she has been charged, yes.
She has been charged?
Yes, she's been charged.
So when is she being arraigned before the courts?
I cannot tell that one. Maybe by close of day we will know when she will be arraigned before court.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for coming, madam. Maria Abba Lovelace Johnson is the head of Food Safety Management Department at the Food and Drugs Authority. Clearly a worrisome situation for us in this country. You're looking to eat a good meal, but the kind of things people are using these days in the name of profits and cutting corners at our expense and at our detriment health-wise is really becoming scary. But thank you, madam, for the information today.